What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles. We got a show lined up for y'all. Gonna be talking about the viral videos or the viral video series from Reesa Teesa, talking about who the fuck did I marry. Man, wild series. Hopefully, you guys are familiar with it, and we're gonna chop it up about that tonight. Waiting on the rest of the guys to show up, so hopefully they'll be on soon. I know Sunny's running a little bit late, so yeah, it's going to be a nice little ride. So make sure you hit our comment section. We'll be talking about it with y'all, and let's get to it. What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to tonight's show. Dame, you want to say what up?
Que paso?
What's good?
You know that's my saying. I can't help it.
I guess so. We're gonna let that. We're gonna let you have that. none of the rest of us gonna ever say that. So yeah, so we been talking about the Reesa Teesa thing in the GFT Join the Conversation group for the last, I think, week or something like that. So we decided we're gonna bring it to the show and talk about it here, and go over our thoughts, our reaction to it, and all that good stuff. Actually, looks like we got some guests in here. What up, though?
Hey.
Hello.
What's up to the
Que
people?
paso?
What's going on, people?
All right. So we're gonna be talking about Reesa Teesa and who did I marry and the lies, the deceit, the deception, and I don't know what's going on with my camera.
Did you unplug your camera again?
Actually, I probably need to do that. That's probably.
So I'll take over since Sunny's. Oh, never mind. Sunny's here.
Oh no, I'm here. I'm just not on camera right now. I'm still getting myself together.
Let your son tell your son let you be great. Okay.
Listen, after the day I had today, I'm lucky I made it because I've been out of the house for pretty much most of the day, so I've been running all day.
Man, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, I'm here.
I got my notes.
Got
my notes. I'm ready.
Hey, right, Jay, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is my first live ever.
It's your first live? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have a very pleasant experience.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I said when she does a show on this subject, I'm getting on. Right. I can't type fast. I can't type fast enough when I try to do, just chat with y'all. But I be trying to type my question in, and y'all have moved on to a whole nother subject. By the time my fat fingers get a question out, so I'm moving on.
Oh no, that's all right. No, I know the feeling. Yeah, that's the one thing I gotta admit. I don't interact very well on like YouTube videos and stuff because, like you said, it's hard to respond while you're trying to watch it, and then especially if you're on a phone, that's not happening. So
yeah.
But yeah, so let's start from the beginning. In terms of how you heard about the Reesa Teesa thing, and what your initial thoughts were. That's just initial thoughts. Like, what did you think about before you started really analyzing all this whole series and everything? But like your first few videos or your first few parts of it, what were your initial thoughts about what she was doing, the why, and what she was going through? What did y'all think about her doing this series?
Well, I felt like first of all, Jay introduced me to the series. I had been actively ignoring, like I actively ignore stuff that is currently happening on social media. A lot of stuff goes on, so I actively choose to ignore it and keep on moving about my daily life and not try to get sucked in. But between her and my family, they were having conversations about it. I didn't know what they were talking about, but I had kind of knew a mention of it because Jay mentioned it in the group like a week or two ago. So then I went down a rabbit hole, and then once I got stuck, I was like, "Oh Lord." My initial my initial thoughts just off the title alone, it's about to be some malarkey. And it definitely was. It was, yeah. It held up to what my ideal of, like the title alone. It held up to like, what the hell? Yeah.
I feel you.
I first heard about it from someone that I used to work with. He's always sending me foolishness on TikTok. I have a TikTok account, but I don't be on there. I don't post or nothing. And he's always sending me something. And I said, I'm not fixing to watch that. He said, trust me. He said, you have a commute, just turn it on and drive to work and listen. You won't believe it. And then my cousin mentioned it, and I said, well, let me see about it. And I have about an hour commute to work and an hour back, and it filled up my week, and it gave me something to listen to. And I was like, what's going on? And I'll be at work like, well, I can't wait till I get off. I want to know what this fool done did next. So it just became it was entertainment, even though it was sad. I mean, it's a sad story. It's sad that this would happen to a person, but she was such a good storyteller that it didn't feel real. You know, it almost felt like an audiobook to me. And then I realized, man, this lady really went through this. And you know, and that's only what we know. That there's so much more that probably happened, and probably some stuff that she's not really telling us either. Maybe because it really did make her look bad or whatever. I do believe there's two parts to every story, but that's how I got into it. And then when I was trying to be more active in this group, because I've been in this group forever and I always read things and I might comment now and then, but I've never really been truly that active. It's hard for me, but I thought that's got to be a subject that would be interesting to some people in this group to look at and see what they think from not only her point of view, but his point of view and the point of view of the listener, what I thought would be just a good subject.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
yeah. So I dragged Sonny down the rabbit hole.
Right. Well, like Sonny said, I think that was my introduction to it, as my true introduction to it as well, because I don't remember really falling into the trap of like, let me go check this out when I first initially kind of got an inkling that this existed. I remember hearing the name Reesa Teesa. I remember hearing the who the fuck did I marry, but I didn't understand what that was about. Why? I just let it go. I was like, whatever. I didn't really care. And then when I saw your post, and I think at the same time, either there was some other group or some other person had mentioned it, I was like, okay, what is this really about? And then I think you mentioned in the post that like, yeah, this is something you could just listen to. Because when I saw 52 parts, I was like, 52 parts. And I've seen some long TikTok series, and one I felt like they were just clickbait. And so when I saw it was a 52-part series, I'm like, this is definitely clickbait. I mean, it still kind of was a little clickbaitish, a little bit, but it was like, I was like, this is going to be clickbait. This is going to be something I can't really pay attention to because, one, like you said, TikTok, I don't like the format. I don't really get into it too tough. You know, if there's somebody shares something to me, I trust a lot of the people that I get shares from. So I'll go ahead and look, especially if they let me know ahead of time, like this is funny, this is sad, this is poignant, this is something. So especially if it's comedy, I'll go look, because my that's the other thing. My TikTok algorithm has been trash for like the first year and a half that I had it. So now that I've watched so much comedy and a few of like inspirational things, now I finally get what I do want to see on there. But long story short, when I first started watching it, it did kind of draw me in because, one, I think I mentioned in the group, I actually have lived through a similar situation with a coworker, or not coworker, with a manager or a boss rather, as well as I have a old childhood friend that put me through a similar situation, what they call it, like mindset, like that person that, you know, just can never tell the truth, or can never, you know, really just be real. So it was it just, I could relate to it so much, because I was like, damn, like, you know, because with my boss situation, everything that she was going through with the, you know, the high what's the high lifestyle, that the way he was portraying himself, the way, I'm like, that was my old boss, like all the way. I'm like, damn, I hate to see who this guy is, because it might be my old boss who, you know, told me all these things he had going on and all this kind of stuff. And then when stuff started falling apart, realized it was all a lie.
Right.
And so I was able to kind of relate and understand, like, oh dang, I can understand how she kind of got into that trap, because he had a ton of people convinced. So for her to be one person or maybe a couple of people being convinced by this one guy, that seemed very easy to me. I'm like, oh no, I feel her. I understand how easy it can be to be misled into thinking that this person, because these people are calculating, they're smart, super, super smart, and usually have enough either resources or know how to, finesse enough people into helping them get this elaborate rules or keep this elaborate
I feel
rules.
like I don't mean to interrupt, but I feel like there is truth to that people are really smart and they go through this whole manipulative process, and if they really use that for good, they do a lot better. And I hate the abuse of the mental health aspect. I do hate it. I feel like every time somebody don't do right, oh, you got mental health issues. But I really think there's something wrong with this dude. And but a lot of the things that she was saying that she was learning from his family as well, where if you are having you are making a point to have full hour-long conversations with nobody. That is not, that's a level, that's not manipulation. That is something is not connecting mentally with you. If I mean, it is manipulative in the sense that you have to do it, but it's like you did it, now you have to commit to it every day. But what are you doing during that hour? You're just playing on the phone. It's strange to me that at night she laid her head down next to this man, went to sleep, and he was having whole conversations with nobody on the phone every day. I mean, there's just a level of, I used to work in an environment where people are not right, and you don't realize it, and we can make light of it, we could talk about it, and it's entertainment for sure. But it was like, Molly, you in danger, girl. There's no reason why you wouldn't know, why
the enemy's in the house with you.
yes, you are in danger, and we can laugh about it now. And then the fact that he's still to this day trying to salvage this reputation of some of the things were true, and she's telling you that, and once again now he's saying, oh, our marriage broke up because she's cheating. Well, ain't that what you said about the first lady?
Yeah, I think for me it was like it was for me more of the elaborate lies, and how, like you said, how he went about with these phone conversations. It's like, if you like, it's gaslighting in its truest form, because she sees it happening, but like you don't even understand it's gaslighting until you find out, like years later, or however long it took for her to find out like the whole truth and all the truth she found. It's like you had to the thought to go so far in depth into this lie, to commit fully to it, to go to have long conversations, and conversations that make it appear that you're really having conversations. So it's like, she really, like, for the people that,
how long do you think he's gonna be able to do this?
Yeah, and it's like, why would you think he's lying if he's doing, like, why would the first thought say he's lying? No, I'm sitting here, this man is having conversations. Like, as a person that has their faculties all together, it's like, who would do that? To make me think
I feel like this too. Like I got my little notes, because there were some things that I really wanted y'all's opinion on, because it was just getting on my nerves, and I was like, I don't know who to talk to about this. They got to have a meeting so I can talk. But the very fact that she met him online, I don't think that anybody should shade her. I mean, it's 2024. Most people meet online now. Back in the day, that used to be something taboo, and you have to hide it and say, no, we met at church or whatever. But now everybody meets online. That's really not the big thing. So there's no shame, or she shouldn't feel shamed in that. You shouldn't feel shamed however you meet people. But I don't get I met you, and then on March whatever, look, March the 7th. And then I move you into my home 2 weeks later. Pandemic be damned. We got phones and internet and all kinds of things. Why am I moving you into my house? And I'm not judging, just saying. 2 weeks into meeting you, and then fast forward to a year, you're like, I didn't know this man. No, you really didn't. So, I mean, you hoped it would be these things. And she had me on, it was episode 16, because I was looking at her like this. Pretty much the whole thing until episode 16, when she said, I wanted it to be my turn, and my heart broke for her. I said, damn, there are people.
It's people that want it that bad. That and then on top of that, I think about it like this. You look at shows like how we watch. I don't know if you watch it, but like Love is Blind, shows like that, right? Where you're they're in these pod situations for 90 days. like essentially that's kind of what happened without the not seeing the person daily with her because of the pandemic. So you feel like you like wow, like because for me that's a lot to move somebody in for 2 weeks. I don't even like people like that, but for her, I'm just saying in this point in time, I'm just trying to sympathize or understand in this situation. So maybe she likes him, and maybe she just had that one-on-one time to kind of really get to know each other. Or at least that's what she thought she was doing. And it's like I mean, like I said, and then
there's more people doing that than you realize.
They really want that person for them. They really are searching for that person for them. So it's like I really put myself out there, and during this pandemic, so I got that one-on-one time with you, and then you still decided to take it to
crazy.
That level. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. The timeline. So and somebody did try to point that out to me, that it was a 2-week period from the time that they met to when the move-in happened, and for some reason
everything just spiraled.
I thought the timeline was a little wider, but like you said, I didn't realize it was that quick in episode 16. Well, not quick, but by that part of the story, because I remember when she was talking about around that time. But when she was saying, I wanted it to be my time, but I also looked at it from the standpoint of the like just the things that he was telling her and the things that they were kind of going through. I was like, I could see how she was so clouded initially, and then he also was like, okay, I'm helping you with the bills, and it was at a time.
Why was he getting this money?
Yeah, and she admitted
this money.
Well, she admitted that she felt like it was like a thing of like that was her biggest problem, or not problem, her biggest red flag of herself. She was like, I shouldn't have did this because
she never had anybody do that for her before, so she just kind of got caught up in it
and moving and all this kind of stuff, or even just be a knight in shining armor, because I guess on their first date he came through and saved the day. And everything. So I think, and I know people with hero complexes, they are fairly independent people, but as soon as somebody swoops in and saves them, they become mush. And then next thing you know, they're in a relationship they really don't want to be in, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, I think it was like her initial outlook, I think, was just so positive that she was allowing those inklings of red flags and then the eventual red flags to pass her by.
Yeah, that's a good point that Sonny brought up also about like nowadays when you see these shows about your 90 Day Fiance and Love is Blind, all that stuff, it's becoming, and that's some of the shows that I refuse to watch. And I told you that in a chat, I believe, because I mean, it is entertainment, but I feel like it does give people a false sense of really getting to know a person. Granted, you never know a person. You can be married to somebody for 20 years and not know them. But I think that everything is so rushed now, and it's so common that maybe for me to be damn near 50 years old, and I've married 20 years, so I'm looking at her like, is you crazy? And, but at the same time, I didn't grow up like that, in that, when I shouldn't say like that, but in that time frame, in this time frame, where I was already married and been married before stuff like this even became a thing, so I wouldn't know that. So that's not just, it probably wouldn't be fair for me to be looking at her like that without understanding that she is coming up in a time, and she's dating and she's interacting with potential significant others in a time where everything is so instant gratification.
Yeah, but even with that, I feel like it's to each his own. That may have worked for her, whereas with somebody like me, that doesn't work for me. Like, I'm dead set against moving in with people. Maybe after knowing you for a period of time, maybe, but then again, I don't like to share my space. I like my own space. But like I said, I'm just trying to not be extremely judgmental, because a lot of people were in them comments like, ooh, I felt for her. I really felt for her, because a lot of people was sympathetic, but there's a lot of people that was not. It was like going for calling her stupid and stuff like that. And I just feel like
that's not fair.
It's not fair. And at the end of the day, that's her story. A lot of people was dumb in 2 days. So so who are we to judge? Some people would been seeing the red flags all 5 years and stayed. So
exactly.
and
that's what I want to commend her for, is the fact that even though the time did go a bit longer than it should have, it was also way shorter than I think a lot of people give her credit for. Like she saw the bigger red flags and really started either shutting things down or questioning things more when it was the right time to do those
But
things.
she also did dodge a major bullet by the unfortunate miscarriage. We say unfortunate because you never want to have somebody go through that situation. But at the same time, could you imagine if she's still she's gonna have to deal with this dude now as if she had a kid, because he's gonna this is just to get ugly. He's already talking about suing her and all kinds of foolishness. And I think that if she did have a child, it would be that much worse. She'd probably still be with him.
Oh yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
I definitely wholeheartedly believe she would have gave him a bit more grace. She would have given. She would have felt like she was either obligated or obligated to herself or obligated to the child in order to work with him. It would have been a lot longer. It'd have been 2-3 years down the line before she would have even thought about ending that relationship or trying to figure out how to separate things. So, I think it was definitely, like you say, unfortunate but fortunate. And then also I definitely give her credit for figuring out, like, what, this just, these bigger red flags, this ain't it. It's pull out now before it gets any worse.
It was out I'm for me personally, like going through that series, I think the buying the house part would have been a red flag for me, like immediately, because you got to write your whole soul off to buy a house. Like they want everything.
So that was the thing.
Or when she tried to get the job and he wouldn't give her his social security number. I'm already married to you now, and I can't have your social security number.
Right.
I'm cleaning your drawers. Why can't I have your social security number?
Yeah.
How are we at marriage and we ain't got the social security number?
Well, no, she had the social security
number.
Well,
she had one, but it was wrong.
She had it, but she realized that the second time he gave her to her, it was a very different. It was the first 3 numbers were very different than the first set of social she gave him.
We have a box that has everybody's social security card in it, and marriage license, birth certificates in case of emergency situation. We need to grab this and go. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't need to ask what's the number. I can pull out the card and go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Right.
Yeah, I'm responsible. I know my husband's social security number, his driver's license number. He asked me what the numbers are half the time, but it's just a different time.
She didn't know that man. Let's be real. She didn't know that man.
I mean, she didn't know, I don't even think that's his real name.
Definitely didn't have a real name. Because remember, did she mention that he had given her a different first name than the middle, or it was like his middle name?
What she gave? No, she his middle name. He had 2 pages on the dating site, 2 separate dating sites. One was a shortening of the first name, like if it was Michael, it was Mike on one page, and the other page was like a nickname or something.
Yeah. So already.
I couldn't figure out where she got the name Legion from.
Which is not really.
That was a weird nickname. Yeah.
Somebody said it was because he's a Legion of Demons.
I was say Legion of Doom, right?
Legion of Demons. They said that's what they call it, a Legion of Demons. I was like, well, it fits.
Nicknames don't always make sense.
Yeah, no.
The streets give you a name. The first time you came out and didn't blow your nose, if you was 5, niggas then called you snots for the rest of your life.
Yeah, true.
I give people names all the time.
That is true. I just wonder where that name. I mean, that nickname couldn't come from none of his friends because he didn't really have them.
And he had some friends, and then he was lying.
My friends call me Legion. Like, I don't. Why?
I'm not gonna call you that. Yeah, you need some new friends.
I ain't gonna lie. People, my friends call me Chuck. Ain't nobody called me Chuck before.
So what y'all think about the house buying and how she felt about? Like, what y'all think about that?
It just kept going and going.
The premise of this whole situation, when we met 2 weeks before the shutdown and we have moved in together, I was already out on both of these niggas. Okay? I had prejudged both of them.
Right.
At that time of my life where the shutdown happens, like, man, listen, if it ain't my mom or my wife's mom and dad, we ain't going. Like, fuck everybody. My wife was pregnant, different situation. But
he had everybody dying of COVID.
But that's what
he sure did.
I met this young lady, this unstable creature 2 weeks ago, and you think I'm about to be locked in the crib with you and this might be the end of times? Hell no. Now we married? Like, how did we go from we met 2 weeks ago to you pregnant the next month? Like, we're doing entirely too much for us to have just met like March 6th. Now it's April 4th and you pregnant. How is this? Like, What's going on here?
Do you think there's there's some kind of fever pitch that gets involved with meeting somebody and getting all excited about like we talked about this a second ago about oh, he's paying my bills and I've never had anybody do me like this. Nobody's ever treated me this well. And there's this fever of just, oh, everything that I've ever dreamed of is coming true. And so the idea of it happening so fast completely goes over their head.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think that happens.
Relationships are hard, and the ideal is very easy. Is what that all is.
Yes.
If you're in a real relationship with somebody, it is hard. I'm married, and this shit ain't easy. Dame's married. I'm quite sure that shit ain't easy. And you know, when you just playing around, you can just play the fuck around.
Well,
I think when you tell somebody like, I've never had a nigga pay my bills, and now the nigga comes in and like, look, I paid the electric, the gas, and the cable. You like, my God, he's the perfect nigga. You've already given him the answers to the test. You already told her my last girl never cooked and she's just melting some cheese across this shit. You going, oh my God, she's a gourmet chef. You give out the answers to the test, and the ideal is much better than the actual work that we have to do to really be in a committed situation.
Yeah, and I think the thing too is when you're in the eye of the storm, you don't see or feel what the real damage is being done, or you don't really see what's really happening. So I think being in the middle of a relationship that's moving too fast, especially when it's so what she called intoxicating, right? And I think that's a good example of what it is. It's intoxicating when you're in the middle, and like Hype said, you know, and I think we've all felt that. We've all been in relationships that started off so great. There's so many good things happening in them, and there's so many, you know, different things happening that you're like, oh, this has never happened, or this person did me wrong, and this person's now doing me right. And I think you get those rose-colored glasses. But
not me. I'd be like this.
You're talking.
Who sent you?
You're also in the show, so that's it. You know, but we're talking.
Who sent you?
We're talking at a time when a person is she's vulnerable because she's looking for love. She's like seeking love out, right? Not looking for a relationship. She's looking for love, right?
Marriage. Yeah, she said so.
Right, and then she's, you know, I mean, let's be honest. She was born. From what she said in episode 16, she's borderline desperate, right? Because in her mind, she's like, I've always been the never the bride, always the bridesmaid, never the one with a great relationship, always the one looking in. So for that type of lifestyle to be thrown in her face, right, where a man is telling her, look, I got money, I got power, I got respect, I got this great job, I was a football player, so I got money in the bank and money overseas. I'm going to buy you a $700,000 house. I'm going to give you things in your life you've never experienced before. She's looking like, and I'm not trying to call this woman ugly. I'm not trying to call this woman a bad person. I'm just saying the type of woman she is and that she's portrayed herself as. That's what I'm trying to talk about. What she's portrayed herself as is that she was seeing a lifestyle she felt like she would never get. Like she would never be on the table.
I think that there's something about to jump on that. I think you're right. But part of it, because we're just being honest here, it makes her look bad. It makes her look like, ooh, he got money, you know. So I'm gonna ignore these red flags because he gonna get me this BMW. And then she listen.
But I think
she talked about the BMW a little too much.
She admitted that that's what she ended up doing. She literally.
Yeah, but I think too that it was not like whether or not they had the conversation of this is what I'm used to. Because like, all right, let's keep it a buck. If you see, I've had guys who dated me. Now I'm not by far not I make money, but I'm not out here with the Joneses and balling. I can pay my bills.
Sonny got the bag. That's what she just told us.
And live comfortably only because I have a good job and I have my own house. So realistically, outside looking in, if I meet a guy, they already like, not that I'm saying this is what I have. If we're down the line dating for a period of time and you know that I own my house and that, you know, I have a good job and I'm never talking about how much I make. But if you know that I'm, you know, maintaining my house and I'm not asking for anyone's help, I'm okay, right? So if you meet me and you may or may not be on that level where I am, not necessarily saying that I'm looking for somebody to take care of me, but if you see like they meet you and they see that you can do this on your own and they offer you they offer for you to keep your money, like kind of, this is kind of what was happening. She had her job. She had her money. She didn't have the best car, but she had a car. she was fine without him. She had her own townhouse and stuff like that on her own. So when you stepping in, you either stepping up because no female that is not most females who are got their own shit together are not stepping down. You got to step up, not necessarily either come to my level or you got to be above me. I'm not taking care of nobody, right?
Not unless they have a selfish.
Not
unless they have self-esteem issues. But I'm just saying, like, so what he whether or not on a dating site she presented herself to be well-to-do or not, he met her at her level and then tried to go up beyond that. So
I think he saw her and made an assumption.
What I want. Yeah, he could have made the assumption, and he like, okay, so I can't come her half-ass. I got to come throwing money because a lot of guys do it. They want to throw money at you because that's the way to get most females. If females about that bag, he not necessarily about her bag, but about his bag. He gonna come with money. Most guys. Well,
that's the thing that's weird about it because.
I'll do this and I'll do this and that and the third, and it is intoxicating. Like, oh, you're gonna pay my bills, and this is why, for me personally, I don't want somebody to come in and I don't like. While you may help me with my bills, I'm not going to be reliant on you.
Don't even do that.
I'm good. Yeah, I don't think she was being reliant on him. Like she said, the intoxicating part for her was she never had somebody.
She didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, she didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But I think this is the thing. Somebody mentioned earlier. I think that was you, Jay, that said, "But how did he have the money?" Where'd the money come from? That situation. This is the thing about that situation that I think a lot of people don't think about. This man was renting an apartment, a studio apartment somewhere in that city. Where's it, Charlotte or whatever? So
no, they're in Atlanta.
That's even worse. So this really gonna make my point even bigger because people in Atlanta know she had a mortgage. She had a whole mortgage. Think about
no, she didn't. No, she was leasing. No, she was leasing too because she was.
She had a house though. But
yeah, she had a bigger space, but it wasn't hers. Yeah. It wasn't hers. It wasn't hers. She had a bigger space because you remember she said that she wanted to move out of there. She wanted to go move over here. Her lease was coming up, so she can move over here.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she didn't have her own. But I will say this: I think that what I don't get is why would he go? It'd be different if he was going through all this and lying about having all this stuff, but didn't have the money. But he was paying bills. He wasn't taking anything from her. So I didn't understand what was the purpose of him lying to her. Yeah.
Well, this was my theory though on that, because my thing was this. I think that wherever he was renting at, because all he was paying was her, well, I thought it was her mortgage. He was paying her rent and her utilities, right? Mm-hmm. She was still paying her car note, her insurance, her phone bill, and something else. So he had the rent, the utilities, right? If he's over in his studio in downtown Atlanta, or maybe even just an outskirt of Atlanta, paying $2,000-$3,000 a month on renting utilities there, but he can move to her place where it's like you said, it's a bigger space. I do remember that. I think she had a 3-bedroom or something like that.
Yeah.
So he goes into her bigger space, but her space is $1,800. You see what I'm saying?
But where's he getting $1,800? I mean, where was he working? Were we ever told where he did have a job?
He was working.
He claimed he was
he just wasn't a CEO.
Yeah, he just wasn't a CEO. I think
what was he doing?
Point, he probably ended up. Exactly. At some point, he ended up like probably in a space where he's like, okay, if I can get away from here,
he's not a CEO. He's
exactly. I can actually afford.
I missed that part.
To survive, it may have some extra money on the side. So if he was spending like $2,000, $2,500,
yeah, that makes sense.
He can move over to her place and spend $1,500 to $1,800. He making out like a bandit, right? And then now he's got this woman at home taking care of him or whatever the case may be. But now the sick part of it is the like you said, the lies, right? You know, the lies and the reason behind it. Now that one, she did kind of explain what she felt like it was, what her theory was, and I kind of agree with her when she was saying how he had this desire or this sick fetish of wanting to see her happy, see her hopeful, and then pull that back away from her, and take that away from her, being able to say, you know what, I'm gonna be able to make you so happy to the point of like you just love me and you think, but then I'm just gonna take it away from you and just see.
She was falling in love with the ideal of what he could do for her, not what he was actually doing.
Do you think he did that purposely? Do you think that he got more from? But do you think he got more from hurting her by pulling it away, or do you think he just really wanted to be that, but knew he couldn't really provide it, so he just kept coming up?
I think it was both, because my boss did that. That's what my
her.
boss was doing. My boss was in his mind. This was the thing. In his mind, what he felt like he could do is he could portray this lifestyle and show and say, okay, I got all these properties, I got all these things going on, all these projects coming up, and then start to basically finesse people into one, respecting him more, because people do respect success. People do fall for, charisma and all that kind of stuff, and then start to get the favors behind that. But he knew he had to burn some bridges on the way there. He knew that there were some people he was not going to be able to do the things, but he was going to lie to them anyway. So I think that Legion was doing the same thing. For her, he felt like, if I keep her happy and thinking that this is going to come to fruition, maybe one day I can get enough out of her, because I think at some point she started to pay for some extra things, throw some money around, but he was making her all these promises, right? I don't know what he thought he was going to gain from her, but I think that's why I believe the part about thinking that he was just kind of like in love with hurting her was like his thing, some sick fetish with that. But in his mind, he wanted to live that life, and she was allowing him to live that life because she was believing him. That belief is what feeds these people. That's my childhood friend. He got off on the fact that we believed what he said. I'm telling you, it would be days that I would call him out on his lies, and he would be so upset to the point of crying. He would go to his mom. He would,
how dare you,
denounce our friendship, all kinds of stuff. I mean, to the point, like, one day he turned his mom on me, but I had to take the high road and be like, I didn't have to, but at the time, being young, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take the high road, and I could see that that's what it was. It was literally, he was feeding off of the belief that we believed him, that we looked up to him, or that we respected what he was doing, because he portrayed this lifestyle that he was not really living.
Yeah, well, he was, in this case, he was living his twins' lifestyle, apparently.
No, he wasn't even
but
living that lifestyle.
some people just get, some people just get a high off lying. They can't help it. We grew up with me and Will grew up with a known liar, and he just told lies every week. He said that he had certain problems with him in his adult life, and thinking that me and Will are going to believe him, and he should be playing with diseases. That's for one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I know Will,
trying to get sympathy from people and things like that.
Me and Will said we would never talk about this, but I'm sorry, this whole episode got me triggered just because of that. I'm sorry, Will. I had to bring this up, but you don't play with certain things. Then he's talking about he had created a whole child that he didn't know about, and
that's some scary stuff, man.
We saw. I'm like, he showed pictures, but the child from the age of a younger age to, I think, preteen, did not look like the same daughter that he portrayed from his pictures.
He's got pictures off the internet or something.
Something like that,
yeah. I had a coworker. That used to lie and say that he had stuff, and then when somebody actually ended up calling him out on his lies and posting what he went to Google and said about how he got a new dog, and the picture was a Google picture. It was just like
wow.
you're just getting caught in your lies, sir.
Legion Part 2.
But
No.
I think I've known people to lie. I know people to lie for absolutely no reason. I know people just to lie just for the sake of lying. But this man, during this whole series, for me, it was like this man sat on the phone having conversations that, why his phone ain't ring in the middle of none of these phone calls. I was like,
this joker just got diabetes.
I wanted to her to say at least one of these phone calls, it happened and his phone just rung in the middle of having this alleged conversation, so she could look at him sideways and be like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
So yeah, so
we found members that said that they had cancer. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to read this comment real quick. Yolanda Taylor said that there are habitual liars. It truly becomes their beliefs. I have a family member that believes she is me. Like, that's crazy. But like, it happens. It happens.
Protect your social, girl. Protect your social.
Yeah, they become envious of other people around them or people that they see, and then they want to live that life. And then what makes them tick is being able to build that life in other people's minds.
Yeah, we've had family members that had said they had cancer and wanted a GoFundMe page put up and all this stuff, and everybody's like, "Are you going to give?" I'm like, that joker don't even got insurance. How you know he got cancer? He ain't even been to the doctor yet. You know, I'm just not trying to be funny, but you can't just say anything, and you shouldn't say something like that. Like you guys were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's not. I didn't hear what you said.
I said no. Go ahead. I was about to say something because it just made me think about him saying about how these people died of cancer, how the alleged daughter.
Yeah.
You were
play like that
below the belt with lies, like to the point where
for
people
nothing.
are dying. Like, how do you
people that she don't even know? So it's not like she could. It's not like she would reach out to them in the first place. So he had to kill them off or something. He just made up people and then said they died.
Like, and then I want to know who he was crying about back in what was it, October, and it wasn't even his grandma.
Oh yeah,
his grandma been dead for 16 years
earlier.
He was broken,
crying real tears,
off of real tears, off of who? What happened? Somebody went inside to broke up with you or something?
Right. Exactly.
He was in there.
So he lost his job. He was freaking out because he didn't know how he's gonna pay.
I had a relative he was living with his girlfriend and her 2 kids. She got a car from him from another relative of hers, gave it to him so he can get back and forth to work. What happened was that she followed him around one day because he was acting strange. He had a woman and 4 other of her kids in the car playing with her son's kids, and she was just screaming like, "How dare you? He had whole nother family. He was married to the woman with 4 kids, left a girl that gave him the car, and her 2 kids. So
you hear about that quite often.
But this it gets crazier. They end up having problems. The woman with the 4 kids, his new old wife, and he ended up going with somebody else, get a whole new family again. They broke up, got back together, and she busted him on Facebook saying that be careful of this individual. He's a liar. He comes like a shiny knight, saying that he promised you like this and this and that, and he's preys on sick women that are obese.
And and that's the thing is that there's people who lie in order to create this sense of like importance, right? And they want to be looked at as either important or successful or have people look at them as a hero to them, and that was and I think that's what happened with Legion is that he was able to do that in a almost truthful way at the beginning and then twist the rest of that with his lies in the end, because he was able to come and save her in the car situation, gave her that person that will pay her bills, was there for her to be a companion during the pandemic. But then he started to twist everything up with the lies in order to continue this fantasy of him being a hero to her. Like, I'm going to give you a lifestyle you never had. I'm going to give you things like cars and houses and all these things that you want in your life that you probably never thought you'd get. And that just kept feeding into her desires and her like she said, it was intoxicating for her, and so that's why she continued down that path with him.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all something. Moving up, I do have one thing there's one thing that she said that it just never sat right with me, and she said it more than once, and that's why I was like, this doesn't sound right. And I'm not saying that she ain't telling the truth, because I believe her. But this just was weird. She said that the doctor called her and told her that they didn't hear a heartbeat. And that just did not sit right with me. You go get an ultrasound, they don't send you home to tell you that they don't hear a heartbeat. They know, you know that right then and there.
They tell you then,
that was just weird. She said it more than once. The doctor called me at work to tell me they didn't hear a heartbeat during the ultrasound. That was weird to me. So I started, that was early on when she told that story. And so I started to wonder, was she really pregnant? Right. That's the whole point of it. So
that's the whole point of the ultrasound, yeah.
But she would have known she had gas before she left the doctor's office. She'd have known that they gave her some whatever. But they didn't. She said it more than once that they called her at work to tell her that they didn't hear the heartbeat. If they were having an ultrasound, didn't have a heartbeat, they're rolling you into a emergency
room right
surgery.
There. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just she said it more than once. And again, I'm not saying she's lying.
I probably was. My mind probably wasn't clicking at that moment when.
Yeah, I think I missed that part too. Wow.
That's the first thing that I caught.
It didn't click to me.
And I thought maybe she just said it like in passing, like, "Oh, the doctor said this." Like she's telling a whole bunch of stuff, so it's hard to keep up. But she said it more than once about the doctor calling her to tell her that, and I thought it was so peculiar. And then how she had to wait a whole month before they did a D&C. That's just
So that part you explained, yeah.
That part not personal experience, but I know somebody that went through that. Somebody that they were in the process of miscarrying, but the doctor was saying that they want to allow them to see if it'll pass on their own, versus actually having the thing or taking the pill. This person took the pill and it didn't it didn't pass properly, so they had to wait, and then she had to go later on to get the actual procedure done because she didn't even know she was pregnant. She had her tubes was tied, and she ended up going for a regular checkup, and they told her she was pregnant. She was like, "Well, how my tubes tied? What are we talking about?" And it was a whole situation with that. And so I know somebody that went through that part. So to that part, I did believe because it was like I know somebody that experienced that.
Yeah, and the fact that it was the pandemic at the time, it made sense to me because one, timing is like they would rather her let it pass if it can, and then come in. And I think she I can't remember. She said she wanted to wait to see if it passed because of the fact that she didn't want to just go in the hospital, just where everybody. Because I think she talked about like, oh, you go in the hospital, you're probably gonna get COVID, so that wasn't.
Well, I like Yolanda's comment here. Read Yolanda's comment. Thank you for that because that makes sense to me. Thank you.
It depends. I was a labor and delivery nurse for 10 years. Sometimes the tech tells you, but if your doctor orders it, they let him read the result. Oh, then
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay.
Because this whole time it's not been sitting. Thank you, Yolanda. That wasn't sitting right with me. I'm like, why would the doctor do a whole ultrasound and then send you home to call you 2 days later to tell you what he knew right there? But because I know that is true. That is true. Text can't tell you stuff unless the doctor. So thank you for pointing that out. That clears my mind on something that I had on the top of my head.
You know what? And during the pandemic,
whole story then, like, oh, wait a minute, there's some bullshit.
And you know what? And during the pandemic, everything was just ran weird anyway because you got new procedures.
That's very true.
Because my wife, she delivered during the pandemic. The week the world shut down, that's when we had my son. So it's not far fetched for what just happened.
But
that makes sense. And I appreciate that because I was trying to figure it out.
He took a lot of advantage of pandemic processes.
Yeah.
He wasn't even there for her.
Because a lot of the times the things that she was unable to catch him in lies about, he was able to explain away because of the pandemic.
He wasn't even at the hospital with her when she was going through this, and he's telling her, oh, talk to my personal assistant, and there was never no personal assistant. So he was texting her to tell, I'll tell him. He wasn't even there for her when she was in the hospital and had no reason, was sitting someplace lying.
Girlfriend. And he got to be with his other girlfriend.
that can explain some of the money too, because remember, people got the stimulus checks.
Oh yeah, unemployment was hitting different. I wish I was unemployed during that time. I really do.
I feel like a king then. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sitting at home helping my wife.
Not me. I kept all them pandemic checks and gave them right back because every year we got to pay back taxes. I just held them and gave them right back.
A lot of people were spending that money. They were spending that like it was PPP money.
If you
her own car with her own money with no payments with all of her unemployment, and she was in high school. She's in high school. She worked all through high school, and they pandemic shut her down. And she saved all them bonus checks. She was all them bonus unemployment. She saved all of them. She's like, "Mom, I'm ready to buy a car." I was like, "Oh, do you need me to help?" She was like, "Nah, I got it." She really had it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Proud of her.
Oh, wow, that's good. That's good. No, you know what I just thought about? I wonder if he was a scammer because he's a liar already.
He probably getting from California. He probably getting it from
we finna find out.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Trust me, the government is looking at Legion right now. FBI's like,
maybe that's where he was getting his money from.
We're
gonna find out.
He might have been scamming. He might have, he probably already had a scam going on. He moves in with her because he don't have a real apartment. He got to move out of somebody else's apartment. That could have also been why he was so happy to move in. And then now you scamming the government out of pandemic money and paying
Trust
her
me.
for bills. Man,
we finna find out. It's gonna be who do I get married? Part
Nigerian. He was definitely figuring it out. He was figuring something out.
He probably got SSI though. So the way he looked at his TikTok videos, he probably was collecting SSI. I'm done.
I'm done with you, Sonny. That's my one-liners.
Okay,
listen.
No, I ain't gonna lie. When I got to episode 29 or 30, something like that, and then I just happened to scroll through YouTube and saw a picture of him and a video preview of him talking. SSI. I was done with her series. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not watching the rest of this because
how dare you?
How dare you let this troll trick you into a relationship, marriage?
Listen,
I'm like,
I was glad that I saw him after the fact.
Yeah, he had a video talking about you can't throw a relationship out the window. I'm like, sir, you don't have a window to throw nothing out of. You don't have that. You can't talk about a window when you don't got nothing to throw it out of.
No life.
He looked like he needed an ointment. He needed an ointment.
Legion was the definition of a hobosexual. He was homeless and the way he was getting around was living with females.
What?
You never heard that before?
A homosexual is a man who never got his own place. He got to live with every female he with. When he break up, he got somewhere to go.
Listen.
That alleged place he lived in was the other girl's house. Or other girls.
He had ringworm all on his face. I was like, why?
But see, to her defense, she said he lost mad weight and just was everything after they broke up. But then, he was going through life changes. I love the way she put him out, though. That was like the best. Yeah. That was like what I needed to hear. Is how he had his birthday.
Yeah.
Bye.
No, all I know is when I saw that man, I was thinking to myself, like, why did you even get involved with this? This don't even make sense to me. Like, I was expecting somebody looking.
I'm offended.
I just expected better. I'm like, no, this was not it.
So what do we think about? What do we think about now that she's that this is all out and stuff? People are coming for her for the fact that she's making money and doing well. I gotta say, personally, I think she should make money off the story. And the reason why I feel like she should make money, it's her story. It's her story. It was entertainment. We got free entertainment for 8 hours of our lives. So I feel like she should be, getting money from TikTok or whatever. But I did notice something that it was a little unsavory for me. And because I'm a direct person and I don't like people to play in my face. And I felt like there was a little bit too much. If I got to hear about this 5-Series blue with cognac interior one more time, somebody give it a damn car, because she just pretty much put it out there. I want this car still. And then she had another video when she was talking about her student loans, how she ain't got it. And I felt like now it's almost like, now that I got your attention, who's going to help me with this other stuff? And that doesn't sit well with me, because I feel like in a way you're playing in my face. Like I do feel like you should be compensated for what you're doing. If she gets a book deal, talk show, whatever she gets out of this, she deserves it. But I don't like to be pandered to. I feel sorry for you, but I ain't no sucker.
Yeah, well, and that always depends on the person, right? Because I think some people definitely do this because they want to eventually be able to pander, but in their own way, right? And sometimes it's a soft or a very subtle pandering.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like you said, it's so obvious and it's
I don't like that.
It's sickening. and I agree. Like that one was definitely a little, and I wouldn't call it sickening at that level, but it was definitely like a little hard pandering. And
now what they're doing now, BMW's got a video out, not a video, but a commercial out. Well, yeah, because they at this point she better, because BMW has been using, hey, Reesa Teesa, we get it, and they're showing that particular thing, trying to get people to buy it. I'm like, you can't do that now without giving her one.
Like, cut me
you over here trying to
something, Jesus.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to. And no shade, she should have it. She should, she should have all the good things.
And shouted out the dealership. So the dealership was like, okay, here we go. It's an easy check for us to cut, and now we got all this great advertisement. 15 or 30 million views, and that's all people are hearing about is this BMW.
And we didn't have to pay for it. We'll give you this car.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? It's not our money, so it shouldn't really matter to us. If it's coming out of our pocket, that's one thing. But if it's somebody else giving it to her,
I'm sure if somebody did a GoFundMe, she would take it. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you got audience, if people gonna help you, because a lot of people was saying about they'll go on a trip with her to London, they'll do a girls trip or whatever. It don't got to be like, it's at the end of the day, while people may be off put by it or feel a way about what she's doing, at the end of the day, get to your bag. We all on social media, for us content creators, want people to support our dreams. We do you like, or whatever we need. So
listen,
go on. If they gonna give it, they're gonna give it. I'm not gonna give it, but go on if you want to.
For safety reasons, I would not go on that trip with her.
Off of TikTok.
I would not be going on a vacation with her, because the last couple of years people have been coming up dead going on vacations with people you do know, versus now you got people you go on a trip with you don't know. I'm good.
Yeah, what if it's Legion's people?
I'm good. Straight. You don't know which one will come out and get you.
So this is the messed up part to me. So I watched I saw a few videos talking about how they felt like the way she did this series didn't benefit her monetarily. And then I finally watched a video that broke it down, and it's crazy and unfortunate, because I guess apparently the way TikTok works, unless you're already a partner and have so many, or whatever the tier is, the way your initial videos that go viral work, you don't really get paid for those. And then when you
should have got paid better on YouTube.
Yeah, right. She would have got paid better on YouTube. So now that she is a TikTok partner, great for her, but her views are already stagnant now. She made 20 million views. She's not getting paid on. They said she bottom line might have made 40, 50
she had to upload mad
40
videos.
or 50 bucks. If she'd have did it on YouTube, she would probably still be getting residuals, and she would getting the new money. But everybody that took her videos and played them on YouTube, they're the ones that got paid. They're the ones that made money off of her stuff.
And plus
on YouTube.
Her videos, she had to have like a lot of us,
because they'll be copywritten by somebody else.
Yeah, and then a lot of us shared her videos to our friends. If they didn't organically click on her video to watch it on their own, pop up in For You, she wasn't getting that money.
Yeah, right. That's why they said.
And I don't think she did it. I honestly don't think she did it. I don't think she knew it was going to be this.
Oh yeah.
But I do think that she did it to just get it off her chest, and it was cathartic for her. I don't think she did it for the money, because if that was the case, she probably would have researched all that before she did it. I think she really did it for the genuine reasons that she said. She seems like a genuine person. Me just being, listen, it's occupational hazard for me. When somebody tells me something, I'm always like, trust through verification, where that come from, that don't make no sense. That's just how I am. But even when I was like, even the thing about the baby, I was like, I feel bad about feeling this way, but I need facts. I need you to be able to explain that to me. And thank you, Lana, for doing that. Yeah. But I felt like through the whole thing, she was believable. I didn't think that she was doing it to even make him look bad. It wouldn't have nothing to do with him, really. It was just about, let me tell you what happened to me, man. This is crazy. And she protected him. And she protected him. Even to this day, she's not said his name. People know it. Even after people found out what the name was, she don't say his name. So he's over here, I'm going to sue you. Sue her for what? Telling her own story? She didn't say nothing about you.
Yeah, the people found her, not the people found him. She made sure not to go into detail with people's names. And even I just feel bad, because like the family had to deal with his shenanigans. Like it was just like when them stories come out with the family members, and they was just coming out like, whoa. And then you see now a lot of the family members are coming out of the woodworks, making their own videos and responding to, and like saying, yeah, this happened, this and this, and it's like this, that.
You know what?
Even the realtor coming out with saying stuff.
So some people just do it to tell a story. They don't really want to look for fame, or they just want to tell their side of the story or something that happened to them.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily always monetary.
But that's what I'm saying. That's cool until I found out that you made some money off of it.
Right.
If you said,
"Oh yeah,
hey, Hype, let's do this episode of Fans Perspective," and now Sprite, I found out Sprite just gave you $12 million, and I was just doing it for the love until I found out you got 12 million. Nigga, where's my cut?
And guess what? And Hype is going to tell it on his show that's starting what on Tuesdays?
That will be every Tuesday, 2 p.m. on the GFT Radio Network. How to Hustle podcast with Hype.
But yeah, so
Sunny
and
the ladies of Unreservedly Us will be featured on the How to Hustle podcast with Hype very soon.
Yeah,
it's cool. And you know what? It's so funny about that is that God dang it, Hype, you made me forget my comment.
I want one of my stories that I be telling to go
making
viral.
the money, $12 million.
I told about my bad 5-hour day and nobody didn't go viral.
Well, Hype was talking about that. If I'm going to be mad if I told my story and you got $12 million off my story, I'm going to eat my cut. That's what he was talking about. And then you were going to say something about that.
I got an extra 6 likes.
Right, got 12 million. Exactly. But but that's the thing. I think that from a like you said, I definitely do believe she didn't consider it a monetary thing, because hopefully she would have been smart enough to research that before she did it.
Now everybody gonna be out with the story.
Knowing that the story was gaining traction, I think she definitely could have taken advantage, and it definitely didn't sound like she did. Like, she just continued to stay on the track that she originally meant to do. Was like, I'm just gonna keep telling this story, get through it, and get my story out there.
She's a good storyteller.
To me, right, and that's the thing. It sounded to me like what she may have intended was just to gain audience to her other future stories, and being able to kind of set herself up as like this storyteller, and being able to have.
There was times.
Following. I definitely don't think she intended to be the talk of the nation, let alone to be.
There was times when that video was playing, and I would look at the screen, and I'd be like, "Girl," I would expect her to stop talking and say, "Yes, I know." Like, I got so involved in what she was saying, and she was so good at it that I felt like I felt like I was on a FaceTime with somebody for a minute.
Yeah,
I was like, "Shut up, girl," and then. Yeah, she was good at it. And I think there's people out here, especially the people that are really hating. Yeah, I have my opinion about, I don't like nobody pandering to me, goddamn. If I want to help you, I want to help you. Don't come out here just keep dropping hints. I don't like that. But at the same time, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not mad at her for it. But I think the people that are out here hating on her for any kind of blessing she's gonna get from this whole situation, I'm thinking, what's it to you? She legitimately did something that you maybe just be mad that you didn't think to do it yourself. Yeah. It was very simple for her to do, and she completely changed the way things. And you're gonna be seeing these things all. We're gonna have soap operas on TikTok now all the damn time, and they're not gonna be as good.
We have them little short stories about all the drama people went through.
I don't watch none of them.
Why do people concern themselves with the opinions of strangers?
Because life is too much sometimes, and sometimes people like to watch somebody else going through something a little worse than them, makes them feel better about their situation. I think that's why people do it.
Yeah. And it's comforting to know somebody going through the same hell you going through.
No,
or worse.
What I'm saying is, I can watch you go through this whole situation, but what the people in these comments have to say, if I literally don't know I don't know Terrell 215, I don't know Damien 816.
That's not important.
Yeah.
No, that's not. But you have self-esteem and self-reliance. There's some people out here who rely on the validation of others. You got to remember that. And people.
That's why they come there.
Exactly.
You have to like me.
Right. And people want exactly. I was just about to say that. And people want other people to like them, regardless if they know them or not. They want to know and be able to say, you know what, somebody likes me. And it has nothing to do with anything other than they know that they like me. That makes them feel good. Or they want somebody to validate that, one, they're not crazy, or that they're not, missing the bar, and that they're going to validate their feelings. They're going to validate their perspective. We see it in groups all the time, on Facebook groups, where people are pushing for people they don't know, literal people they don't know, to agree with them, regardless if their perspective is skewed, generalized, anything. They are like 10 tones down on the fact that you need to agree with them or you're a bad person, because they need you to agree with them. So that people rely on that. They literally rely, and that's what social media is really for. You know, it's not for you to be only communicating and liking just with your friends. It's about the world.
Yeah, a lot of
I got a confession. I got a confession. Listen, I love social media for this reason only. I'm a federal litigator. So a lot of times I'll go in some of these public forums and somebody will say something that I think is baseless. And I decide what my position is going to be. And then I just argue my position with them because it's like free training for me. Because it's not because I have to be right. Sometimes I just happen to be right. But it's because if you're going to come at somebody with a statement, I believe that you should have it based on some type of fact. Now, if you just say this is my opinion, well, then I'm gonna leave you alone because that's what you're entitled to. But when people start blurting out facts and this is facts, is it a fact or is it your perspective? You know, and so I gotta confess that sometimes I'll do that with people just because it's good. It helps me in court.
Right.
And you know what?
It's good.
But you know what? And a couple of weeks ago, she was like a bloodhound. She was like, "Hey, Damon, guess what? Screenshot. This person's a habitual liar. This doesn't add up. This sucks."
Yeah, why is this person saying this? Sorry, Damon.
I'm like,
you started.
I'm like, Jay. I did. I'm a pastor. So ask Sonny.
No, but it's so funny because she said that because I like arguing, especially when I know that I'm right. Like,
yeah,
it's like
I won't argue unless I know I'm right.
I'll pick an argument, and when I tag in the argument, I'm probably I don't have to be 100% right, but if I'm 85% right, oh no, I'm going for the juggler because I just want I got time today. Like I signed up for it.
You got time today.
Like no, it's I like so at work, and it's not even an argument. It's just like a back and forth with some employees. In my old job, in my old stuff that I used to do, and they ask me questions because like we know what the rules are, right? So you ask me a rule, I tell you the rule. You don't like the rule, you're mad. Now I'm being mean, and I have to say,
don't change the rule just because you don't like it.
You asked me the rule, I gave you the answer. The answer doesn't matter if I like it, you like it, or anyone else likes it. It's what it is, and this is the fact. The rules are the fact in the law of the land. So while I'm delivering it to you, you may not like it. That's nothing to do with me personally. For you, like I don't have vendetta against you. I don't care about your situation personally. It doesn't affect me personally, but these are the facts. And I had a lot of people used to get frustrated with me because they couldn't get past the rule. It's like, no, so we're here. This is the rule. How do we, and I'm trying to get you to follow the rule. So you trying to dodge the rule, go alongside, make the line go birds, so you skip past. And I'm like, no, go back.
People try
go
to
back.
This is
what it is. This is what it is, and this is where we're at. So if you want to do anything outside of that, then the repercussions could be this, and this. So HR has already explained the rules. If you go beyond the rules, it's totally up to you. But understand that this could be the negative fallout relating to these rules. All right, have a great
What I like about this group and about a lot of the conversations that happen in this group, and even tonight, I can have a perspective on something and be like, that doesn't make sense. I know what I know, but I can honestly say I know what I know from my experience. But doesn't mean I know what is to be known. So like I'm saying this, I'm like, that don't make sense. And that's 100% true in most, it could be considered a fact. But then here comes Yolanda with facts on, look, I did this for 10 years and I'm telling you it could be this. And that makes perfect sense. So now I have a different perspective and knowledge based not because somebody's opinion, not because somebody was being stank or just wanted to be right. She just happened to be right, you know? And that's the thing that people don't get nowadays too, and that's what, going back to Reesa Teesa, I do appreciate her accountability. Accountability is something that it's so rare that people can't just say, hey, you know what, I did this and I was wrong, or I did this and I shouldn't have. And even she even says to go so far as to say, I realize it's crazy. I done moved this man in my house 2 weeks. So, you know, I can't go back and change that now. So I do appreciate accountability being, in the very beginning, the accountability that people have. Yeah.
Yo, if I met you 2 weeks ago, I probably talked to you twice. Like moved in the house. Like, what
Only
But
are
she
we
you,
said they
honey.
doing?
talked
Like
every
twice.
single day.
Yeah, they talked
She
every
said they
day.
spoke
That
every
make
single day at length, all day long. They'd be
still
on the phone for hours and
See,
hours.
that's a red flag
that's
right
still
there.
two
Why do you
weeks.
keep calling? Why do you keep calling me? I'm a stranger. I'm trying to
I
get to
don't
How
like
do
know
you
you.
people
know?
though.
How
I
you know
don't
it
know
was
how
her? It
you're
could
not
have
a good
been him.
example, bro. You don't like
I'm trying
people.
to get to know you, but like if you've called me 3 days in a row and I just met you Saturday, this is already a
You
problem.
are the exception to that rule.
I,
You are the
I
exception
don't
to that
love
Hey,
rule.
love.
This is
but
He's
if you
right
coming
vibe with
though.
from
somebody
a
like
man.
that, you might
But
do
hold on,
that.
this is coming from
I've
a man
never
who doesn't
vibed
even
with
date.
anybody
He
in my
doesn't count.
life.
He doesn't count.
I know,
You don't.
right?
Listen,
You
You don't
don't
even date.
count,
listen.
honey. I know.
He didn't
I
date
got
I've
anybody
never had
charisma.
those
You
for
might meet
experiences.
somebody like me and be like, I
I
just want to
don't.
know more. I got to talk to her. So that might be what it was with her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, maybe he had a charismatic personality, or maybe vice versa. She did, and so they just didn't want to get off the phone. They just wanted to know more and more about each other. I mean, sometimes people do vibe that way. Again,
Even
we all
if I
say that we
thought
would not
that,
have some.
I'm not calling you. Like, even if I
No, that
thought that,
is not true, Yolanda, because I work
if I
and
met you
my
Saturday,
friend
I'm
works
not
and he
calling you
talks to me all
Sunday.
the time. And I don't like the phone. I'm a
Yeah,
person who does not like to be on the phone. My
I'll
old job
text you
had
to
me on the
death.
phone from 9 till my phone rung when I walked into my job because they saw me walk from the parking lot to and get on the 12th floor. Like it is. I'm like, did they see me? I didn't even get to sit down. My phone is already ringing. And I will be on the phone. My phone calls could last anywhere between a half hour at the least to almost 2 hours. When I tell you I despise the phone, don't fucking call me. But now I meet people that want to talk on the phone and text, and I'm like, I just want to be left alone and sleep and intermittent sleep the other day. But I know that in dating, in real life, you actually have to talk to people. And it's frustrating. And then the person that I'm actually in a relationship with now, he is a phone person. I am not. I don't want to be on the phone breathing for hours. As soon as you fall asleep, I'm
not
hanging up.
breathing.
I don't want
Not
to be.
breathing.
I've been hostage on the phone overnight for
He in
3 hours.
there
Woke
like,
up mad because I was still on the fucking phone. I'm not a
She
phone
said,
person.
breathing. I don't want to be on the phone breathing.
I
right,
know.
right.
I'm serious, but I'm listen.
But yeah, and that's the thing. I think everybody has their own approach to dating. Some things that they allow, some things they don't allow. Like when I first started dating my girl, she didn't like me texting her all the time. She was like, nope, you better call me. You better, actually use a telephone. And I was definitely not a telephone person. I didn't like that as a means of communication because I was definitely a phone person at work. And I was definitely, into having to have phone calls with people that, so it was like that was kind of a way to separate the difference between my personal life and my work life or my business life is that I would, be able to have these text conversations versus using the phone. But I definitely feel like the hours and hours thing will make a person feel like they've known somebody longer too, because I
Yeah.
think that gives you this false sense of security that you know a person because they've had these long drawn out conversations. You talked about so many things.
Especially if
Touched
you're
on
being open and honest, you don't realize that they're not.
exactly. You don't
Yeah.
realize you're getting a representative because you're having these conversations that sound genuine to you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she mentioned this, but I'm sure that she would probably consider herself a trusting person. And if you're a trusting
Yeah.
person and you're talking to somebody that you've given some benefit of the doubt, he done already saved your life and saved your life. She didn't really save her life, but in her mind,
Yeah.
in her mind,
Come to her
he saved her
rescue.
life. Now that makes her trust him even more. So it gives you this false sense of security that you're dealing with somebody who is
Look at his face.
trustworthy
He's like,
and that you can actually do this. But
Hey man, if
I
I
mean, you
met you
got to admit
Saturday,
that. Like what I was just saying, Haim, you got to admit you're definitely a way worse example. You can't compare what you do to what a woman
I
that's
mean,
looking for love, that's
copy.
desperate for love is doing.
And he could have
But
been
I
calling
think that
her.
yeah, but she definitely like Jay said, she did a good job, of being very one being transparent about the mistakes she made, but
Yeah.
also being accountable for the mistakes she made and the things that she should have, picked up on or disallowed or whatever the
And
case may
chose
be.
to ignore. She said
And
she
so,
chose to ignore a lot of it. Yeah.
This whole situation boiled down to desperation to me. A desperate
oh yeah,
person is
for sure.
dangerous. A nigga who ain't got no job and he got 3 kids to feed is dangerous because he gonna go do some dumb shit. The girl or the guy whose biological clock is ticking, and now you're on the phone with this nigga or this girl who you met 2 weeks ago, and you spilling out your guts and giving out your life story, and now we're moving this person in, and because he's doing all the shit that you wanted and she's doing all the shit that you wanted, this is a dangerous situation. That's why
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying if I met you Saturday, I'm not calling you till at least Tuesday or Wednesday. Then I might text you
You
3-4 days after that.
Yeah,
We
see,
not
you ain't
on
you
the
you
phone.
can't
What
date
is
in
we doing?
2024 then, Heinz. I'm
no,
sorry.
you
It's not
can't.
how it
You
works.
can't because they're gonna be
I'm
like,
out
you're
the
not
game.
interested.
You'll be
They're gonna
single.
move on to the
Yeah,
next person.
you wait 2 days. A woman gonna tell you have a
You
nice
take a
life.
nap, it's over. Now
Take
you
it.
We're in the
ever
world of
move on.
instant gratification now.
Instant
Instant gratification. If
gratification.
it's too easy for you, you know how many seconds there are on a day, and you can't give me 5 of yours, and I'm gonna move on. That's how people feel, you
Yeah.
know. And that's I
My
understand
time is
what you
about to
mean.
be
You don't want to be
forgiven.
bothered like that, but I mean, at the same time, hell, I get that from my husband right now. He's like, "You ain't text me all day." I'm like, "I'm gonna see you at 3." And he's like, "But you ain't, you ain't even text me all day."
Well, I
Very
mean,
Because
yes. I
it's
mean,
too easy to communicate with people. So if you
it
don't
is.
communicate with me, you're showing me you don't take me serious, or you trying to play a game or whatever. So I'm gonna move on. I think that's what people think. I do understand what you mean. Don't be clingy. Don't be a stage 5 clinger. But
That's
because
what
of the
I'm
way the
hearing.
world is,
That's what I'm
there's
feeling. Yeah.
that's
That's
what
why I'm
you're
out the
feeling.
game. That's what I
But
said.
for
That's why
most
I'm out the
people, they're
game.
like, it's so easy now. Yeah, it's so easy to be able to communicate that when you don't, that's saying a lot more than if you just did.
Yeah, exactly.
Let it happen, but no, let it happen naturally though. Don't
Yeah,
force
don't
the
force
issue.
it.
Like
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
2 weeks, you on the phone with this person
You've
every
completely
day.
forced the issue.
That's
Yeah,
forcing
yeah.
because let it happen naturally. Like, you know what, I'm gonna call this person, see how they doing.
You know what she didn't talk about that I'm curious?
But that go
When
back
was
to
the
what I
first
said
time
in the
that they were
beginning.
intimate with each other? Because if
People
they were
wanna
She
write
intimate
this
with
got
each
shit.
other
pregnant
right off
in
the bat,
April.
true
She got
enough.
pregnant
But
in
when
April. Yeah.
did they? Yeah, but okay, we know they had sex in a month. She got pregnant in April. They met in March. They got pregnant in April. But did they have sex this
Easy.
first
3
night?
days.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute,
Yep.
timeline not
You know
adding
what I'm
up now.
saying?
My mathing ain't mathing
They
because
met
sometimes
March
you don't.
7th, and she was
Mhm.
pregnant by the end of April. So
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying
It could have
when
happened anyway.
Okay,
I'm talking about the progressiveness.
But when
Did
did he
they
move in?
the 2 weeks
2
after they
weeks.
first met? So they met March 7th,
Probably
and
after
then
he probably moved in right after he got the cheeks. I'm
21st,
just
he was
saying.
bringing his drawers in.
or did
Come
he get
on.
the cheeks the first night? I mean, he did change her tire.
Right.
So
Change that
so
tire.
I don't
hey,
know. I don't
hey,
know
I'm
about the
saying,
changing tire
Too.
business. I don't have
but
a
that
vehicle.
would
I'm
he
not
change.
changed.
allowed to drive.
I'm just saying that might
He
change her thought
definitely got
process
those
and
he
how
definitely
things
hit
got
that first
moved
day.
so quickly and how she felt that close,
No,
or
that's
that okay to move him in if they were intimate very very early. No shade. I mean, they're grown if they chose to do that the first night.
right.
But if that was something that might explain why in her mind 2 weeks probably felt like 2 months or so on. Seemed bigger to her at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
So bad
Oh
for
no,
them
I agree.
boys.
I fully that's a great point, Jay, because I definitely think that especially in newer relationships, it's a catalyst, right?
Yeah.
Sex can definitely change your whole thought process about somebody. So you're talking every day, all day on the phone, having sex
And then
within a week of starting this of
Now
starting
what?
this
That's what we're
whole
doing.
relationship was not even a relationship yet, but starting this whole thing, the situationship, and now you're talking about a pandemic where
I'm about to say now
and
they
I think
think the
she
world
mentioned this
might
part.
end.
She was saying that the pandemic was immediately on their radar as something that was like, what are we going to do? How can we continue this thing and make this
panic.
work? And it was a
I
Space
think
panic.
that's
time.
It
what
was a
made
panic move.
that's probably what made them allow me to move in with each other, because now it's like we're going to be separate. The world's going to be shut down. How shut down is going to be, because even when the world got shut down, we didn't understand, like it was curfews and some
Yeah. Streets are
almost like
bare.
it was a lot of
I had
different
a
things that were
paper
going
from my
on.
job to say I could be outside. Like
Yeah.
in case you got
And then you
stopped by
got to
the
think
cops, we
that
had to have this paper on your pocket.
to say that you're alive. Yeah, there was that going on.
Yeah,
There
to
was
say
this
that you
panic
was an
about
essential
I'm just
worker.
now meeting you. We're doing it. Clearly they were. I feel like they were intimate very quickly, because if she was pregnant by April, they were already raw dogging, and that's crazy. So
Yeah.
they probably had sex very early, and depending on how long it had been since she had been intimate with the person or had a relationship, or maybe it was good. I don't know. Maybe that messed with her brain, and that's why she did things a little bit faster and crazier than anybody would normally think that they should be. But if
Yeah.
she hadn't done that, we wouldn't have these conversations. She wouldn't have had a pot or her little playlist going, we wouldn't be talking about it. So good for her.
Right. Yolanda said, but to be with someone 24/7, you barely knew 2 months. Believe me, I think this is the thing though. You got to we got to keep considering
2 months.
Yeah, but no. Keep this in mind though. Keep this in mind. We're talking about human beings, right? People who are known to do the dumbest things in the world, but also people have done things like get married within a week. Who in a day?
Week.
I mean, in a day. I mean, there's stories of people having a one night stand in Vegas, and then the next day they're getting married. So it's not unreasonable or unheard of that something like that would happen. How long did it take Biggie and Lil Kim to was it Lil Kim? Yeah, to get married?
Faith.
It was like, or not
Faith.
Biggie and Faith Evans to get married. I think
it was like a week or something like that.
Yeah, it was like okay, it was a week. So yeah, so you're talking people who you would think would know better, People make
even like
decisions,
even like somebody said, there's TV shows about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's
my
arranged
food.
I want to marry. Remember they had that movie? Remember that TV show a long time ago? I Want to Marry a Millionaire, and they just had a bunch of women on the stage, and some guy showed up that looked like why, and they all turned around. I'll marry you, and then turns out he didn't have but like $1,500 in the bank.
Right.
You know, but they were all lined up to marry. So it's not unheard of. We all, as rational people, look at it like it's crazy, but there's more of that going on than we probably care to recognize.
I like my food in the oven. All right. I like a nice smoker. Slow cook my stuff. Don't give me 30 seconds in the microwave.
Right.
I had to put my charger on, child.
Yeah, Yana said, listen, during the pandemic, my hubby and I hit 20 years, and 24/7 was still a lot. Wine was my friend. Well, that was the other. Now that's the other.
Man.
That was the other side of the pandemic. I went through the same thing where
how many divorces happened during the pandemic?
Divorces. I lost a relationship during the pandemic. A lot of people went through that. It was a lot happening in the pandemic. The pandemic changed a lot for a lot of people. It was a time when people changed the way they were thinking, changed the way that they were living, changed the way that they were moving in general. People got into situations that they questioned later. People, got out of situations that they had never questioned before. So I think that's a good point. It was a lot happening during that time.
So we're gonna give her grace.
Yeah. I mean, it's still kind of hard to give her a little grace because it's still like, but damn, girl, it was 2 weeks. Let's be reasonable.
I think when I lost grace for her, it wasn't that how she got into it.
Than I ever did in my life. I would
being at work all the time.
Couldn't see niggas. I was a central worker. I was at work every day.
I used to work. I was working in a federal prison at the time, and I could never. There was days when they wouldn't even let us go home because half of our institution was down. So they just put cots up, and we had to sleep. We couldn't even go home. There's a lot of people that got divorced for stuff like that as well. I do think that in the beginning it was crazy to think about how it didn't take much time at all for her to get involved in the situation. But we can. Just like we've been doing, we can come with a million reasons how it could happen. I think when it started to get crazy, like, but you still married him. Yeah. 6 months in now, 7 months in now, all this weird stuff's happening, stuff that you're already looking at him like, what? You still married him. And she said she did it. She said she did it because she didn't want to look stupid to people like, you just married this girl, almost like, she said it that everything that we're talking about now, everything that everybody's going over it and over in her comments is saying is, she said, this is what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to look stupid, be married and divorced in 6 months, so maybe I'm seeing this wrong. Maybe it is something that we can work through. She just, at that point, it was too late. And maybe she thought marrying him would make it better. I don't, a lot of people do that. I don't know.
You gave me,
right.
You gave me 3 shaky stories in 6 months. Guess what we're not doing? Talking about a 7th month.
Well, we're definitely not talking about going to the justice of the peace. I know that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think I asked that extra question in the group. How many people were in relationships or let relationships stay or stayed in relationships because they didn't want to give it up because it was like everybody thought it wasn't gonna work, and to prove them right, it didn't work. Or how many people went against the grain and held on just because of that reason. And and crazy enough, I know a lot of people that are in relationships currently that are not happy, but won't let it go for different reasons. And it's like
and some won't let it go because they don't want everybody looking at them.
Yeah, you have red flags
because you
everybody
worried
else
about what
knows
other
relationship is
people
over.
think. That is the
Outside looking in.
ever.
Worried about being embarrassed. Worried because he was saying people worried about what people think.
I can't make my life decisions based on like, man, Willie probably gonna talk about me though if I call him and tell him I'm still with her or I'm leaving.
They talked about Jesus. You in good company.
They talk about everybody. Me and Sonny did that episode where judgments are fine. People gonna judge you all day, every day. Every time they look at you, they're gonna make a judgment about you. They're not gonna be honest about you and tell you this motherfucker's fat, this motherfucker's short, he's dumb, she's stupid, she's cute, she's not. People gonna make them judgments about you all day long. And then you gonna stay in a marriage for 25 years with somebody that you miserable with just because your cousin gonna say, dickhead. Hell no.
Yolanda said you definitely had to like the person you were married to. Outside activities hid a lot, but once face to face hit, there was no more hiding. Yeah, that was. And not only the hiding. It was just the fact that you had to really deal with a person that you probably didn't really have to deal with before. Think about a lot of marriages where people are both working. So they're away from each other for 8, 10, even 12 hours a day. And then now you're in a space where you actually have to interact. You actually have to get to know this person or deal with this person on a daily basis. And realize you don't even really like them for real like that.
Wait, don't forget that buffer. Kids. If you got fit kids, in-laws that live with you, you got extra buffers. Now that's cut down because there's no school, there's no work. You're in your house 24/7.
That was stressful. It was a stressful time.
Yeah, some things that you could let pass on a regular basis now is like amplified because I don't like the way you chew. But before I could just, I'm going out here, I'm going to have to listen to this. But now you sitting there looking at me and I got to hear all this mess 24 hours a day. But before I could go someplace else for at least 8 hours of not listening to you chew. So now I'm looking at you. Why are you chewing like that? Joker been chewing like that for 20 years, but you didn't notice it. The little things that you thought you can get away from and just live with. Now there's no living with it because it's constantly in your face.
The shit that you just said, I got switched to the day shift after being on night shift for 13 years in January of 2020. And the first day I came home from day shift, and like when I get home at night, it's like my wife might be going to sleep. My daughter's definitely asleep, so I got the crib to myself. And I walked in this middle of the day and it's like, so y'all doing homework? And like the game is coming on though. And like, you want to keep talking to me. And like, you want me to watch you jump in a circle. And like, what the fuck is going on? This is not how right. This is not what after work is like.
Yolanda's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you probably quit breathing. Coming home and going to bed, having some time to rest, relax.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, man, Embiid got 25 though in the third quarter. I can't be sitting here doing this shit.
Right. Yolanda said, I had to ask my hubby one day to just quit breathing for 30 seconds because you are breathing too loud. Right.
That's what I'm terrified of. It's stuff that I don't like. And like living with somebody, that's what scares me. Like, I'll date you to a blown face. You can have your place, we can have mine. But like, I'm really terrified of like living with somebody because it's shit that I don't want to see. I don't want to know and stuff like that. I want to go to their house and you be how you gonna be. You come to my house, not be how I'm gonna be, and then we just leave each other the fuck alone because I don't want to look at you like I live with somebody and I hated the way he snored. I punched that man out to sleep and told him, you can't go to sleep until I go to sleep first. I'm not fucking. You need a CPAP or something. I don't got time for that. I can't deal with that at night every day. I can't. Right. Like, I love you, but like I want to murder you in your sleep because you snoring that loud. Why are we doing this? But
right.
So like, yeah, I get nervous. Like I get nervous when the dude spend the night. Like how he snores. If gonna snore too loud, I'm gonna be mad. Like I dated this one guy. He snored so loud. I was like, oh no, we never gonna talk again.
I'm about to say, I never snore one time. This will be the last time you ever see me.
No, it was not even that you snore. It was the loudness of the snoring. How hard and like if you taking like a 15-minute nap and you snoring that loud, I can imagine if you really sleep that night.
Snore.
You sleep at night like that. I'm good. I'm never coming to your house. I'm never spending the night. It's your shit. Like anytime around you, better never go to sleep. I'm gonna be mad.
Hey, Sonny, I can help you with that.
Outside of functions only.
Hey, Sonny, Sonny, I can help you with that real quick. All you gotta do is take a pillow and gently put over his face very hardly.
Terrible.
No. No.
All right, on that note, we're gonna wrap this show up.
That part. You trying to get it ticked off of YouTube.
Trying to get it ticked off of YouTube, right? Lord,
make sure you got the life insurance policy together first before you take the pillow.
Lord,
that part.
Sonny, tell the folks where they can find you.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny.
Throw
I am Sunny _D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. Catch me on my blog, Unreservedly Me.
All right. I'm sorry, my brain ain't working. Jay, you should have went first. Go ahead. Tell the folks
that part.
Folks can't find me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. That's about it. 90% of the time, I'm not really talking, so you don't want to look for me. You see me and join the conversation.
Yeah. Let them know. Join the conversation group.
Join the conversation. That's where you can find me.
That's where you can find her. Appreciate you jumping in with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hank, tell the folks where they can find you, sir.
Hurry up.
Custom Hustle World on Instagram, at Custom Hustle Co. on Twitter. Custom jerseys, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, 4 versions of the sneaks. And now we got the Skellies. The Skellies just came in today. So Skellies available in all colors at H2H Cleaning, also on Instagram only. No episode this week from the How to Hustle podcast with Hank. We should be back next week. Episode 135. I had the kids yesterday. I couldn't record.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, his name is Porn
It's
Star?
a me.
Did that just say porn star under your what?
Porn star. I was about to say, like,
I don't know him personally. Jazz, I don't know.
Wow, bro.
Damn it.
James is
we
fired.
get loose tonight, huh?
Right.
He talking about a lot of people. He got names out here they ain't supposed to have.
Right.
An HR approved name.
Go ahead. I don't care. We'll go to Willie.
Wait, where's my sign? Did somebody delete my sign? Oh, here we go. It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG, Twitter, and Threads. Get over at Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. You can visit me at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to. I actually just listened to some new stuff recently, so go check it out. It's good. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Go check it out. WillieStyles.info for all my links. Make sure you hit me up. Until next time, you know where to find us. 10 p.m. right here, GFT Radio Show. Unreservedly Us. Make sure y'all check them out on Thursday. They'll be here Thursday, 10 p.m. Make sure y'all get back with us. Until then, we are out.
Yo, it's your boy Dame here.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D.
Yo, it's your boy Smooth from the GFT Radio Network.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Join us Mondays at 10 p.m. live on Twitch, YouTube, and our Facebook. And if you miss us, don't worry. You can catch it on our website, gftradioshow.com. And if you feel like talking to us every day, join our Facebook group.
At Join the Conversation, the group where you can discuss all kinds of topics.
Catch me also, Fans Respected, Dope Sports Show. Holla at your boy.
You can cop some merchandise over at our store, teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, and even more.
Next time on GFT Radio, what are we talking about? Join the conversation to find out.
Make sure you get at us on GFTRadioshow.com for all of our audio